Today is a great day for street-based sex workers. For the first time in Canadian history, we have a chance to work in safe work environments, avoid criminal charges, and seek protection from the police.
I am so thrilled to be here today to mark this historic event. I didn't think that this was possible within my lifetime. For once, the court has finally heard what sex workers and their allies have been screaming for years, and that is that they are impacted by a set of laws that work individually and collectively to make sex work the most deadly occupation in Canada. These laws have placed sex workers outside of society's sphere of concern, and I can't tell you what this would mean to my members. For them to be able to work in a safe indoor space, to know that society actually cares about them. This is a historic day, and you know, I'm so proud to be here today. Thank you.
I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed by this day and by my allies who have really led this movement in such an important way. I'm going to talk just a little bit about some of the technical legal aspects of this decision, just so that we know where the decisions come from and where it's headed from here. The Ontario case is led by three very important leaders in the sex work community in Ontario, and specifically in Toronto. And that case was started, I think, back in 2006-07, and was followed shortly by a case in BC that was led by a group called Sex Workers United Against Violence and by Sherry Kiselak, a former worker. The cases were started sort of in conjunction with one another, really, so that if one of them got sidetracked or something happened to create obstacles for one, there was another one that would carry forward. So I just want to sort of congratulate the Ontario workers and the plaintiffs in that case, and Alan Young for his amazing work, and all of the millions of students and volunteers and people that I know would have been involved. So what the case ultimately said was that the body house law, the communication law, and the law that says that it's illegal to live on the avails of prostitution, those three laws were struck down. They were found to be unconstitutional. They were found to be unconstitutional in that they violate sex workers' rights to work safely, to work freely, to life in order to preserve their lives, and to freedom of expression. We actually don't have the decision yet, so I can't speak to the real details of the case, but I just know generally a lot of the details you would know, which is that the laws didn't stand up when tested against those rights. Sex workers came forward, hundreds and hundreds of witnesses were heard, and what they found was that the strength of the evidence from the sex work community spoke so loudly to say that those laws cannot stand in Canada, that our values, as upheld by the Canadian Charter, must lead to those laws being struck down. So the other reality is that, like any legal battle, this one's not over. This was an Ontario Superior Court decision. It's not binding in any other province or territory in Canada. And so what we need to do now is continue the fight in each province and territory. We need to lobby our local governments and say, look, that court found that these laws create harm, they don't reduce harm, and that they're not constitutional. Use your discretion, City of Vancouver, City of Burnaby, wherever you might live, to make sure you respect the rights of sex workers as this court case sets out, as this decision says these laws are hurting sex workers, so it's time to stop criminalizing them. So what we need to do now is we wait for the appeal, which inevitably the government will appeal, because of course they're not just going to let it go. It'll get appealed and ultimately will be heard by the Supreme Court of Canada, and it's at that point that it becomes binding on all the provinces and territories, and hopefully we can all take a big breath. So thank you.